Hi, this is Conservative for California. My name is Shiva. We're going to kick off my news channel with a great guest, Kenneth Wright. And what I'm going to do is a series of interviews with people that are running for congressmen, candidates. So, hello and welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm really excited to have this interview with you. And we got to talk a little bit before, but tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and why you're running.
Sure. I spent most of all my career helping children. I'm a pediatric eye surgeon and really didn't pay much attention to politics. I thought, well, that's for somebody else. And in fact, I've operated on babies as young as 48 hours of age.
Wow.
For cataracts so they won't go blind.
Wow.
And I wrote the major textbooks, still have the major textbooks in my field. But I found that we had a representative in our district who I feel was not working for the people.
Are you talking about Ted Lieu?
Ted Lieu. And he seemed to be totally doing what the Democratic Party told him to do, whether it was really right or wrong.
Like a puppet?
Like a puppet. And I think there's a lot of representatives on both sides that are like that. And so no one was going to run against him. And that was in 2016 when Donald Trump and Hillary went at it. Mm-hmm. And so I begged the Republican Party to run somebody, and they kind of laughed at me. And I said, can't you find somebody on some committee to run? It's a very important district. And they, can't you find some yo-yo brain to run? He says, why don't you run? So I'm the yo-yo brain. And I ran against Ted Lieu, myself, nobody else, in 2016. And by our surprise, we got 35% of the vote.
Wow.
When there was only 24% Republicans.
Wow.
And I ran as a Republican in 2016.
That's amazing.
So that's my background. Yeah.
So you ran as a Republican, and now you're running as an independent.
Correct.
Why are you doing that?
Well, I think there's a divide, and it's an artificial divide in our country. You've got Democrats and you've got Republicans. But when I speak to them, they're thinking the same thing. They're not that different. Mm-hmm. But the politics, they try to enhance this difference, and it divides us. I want to unite us on policy, not politics. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Look at homelessness. How is that a Democrat or Republican issue? No.
Well, what about the policies? Don't you think some of the policies are encouraging this homeless crisis that we have?
Absolutely. Those policies are partisan. Mm-hmm. They're not addressing the problem. And I'd like to talk to you about the homelessness. Yeah, so I'm running as an independent because I really don't find myself as a Republican or a Democrat. I want to solve the problem. This is not UCLA versus USC. Mm-hmm. This should be, how do you solve a problem? How do you, and as a physician, we're trained to find first root cause. And once you find root cause, then you can address the problem. So I don't see a point in running as a Republican or Democrat. I want to bring us together to solve problems.
Now, somebody told me, I don't know if it was you or someone else, told me that you were kind of turned off by the GOP because in California they weren't supporting our president. Is that something that you have an issue with?
Yeah, I hate to be a negative person about this, but in California, I found that the GOP, one, doesn't support candidates.
Wow. Why? Why not? I don't understand.
They don't even verbally support them. I think they want the money not to go to the candidate, but to go to the California GOP. Ooh. So if you got a sexy candidate, money's going to be drawn to the candidate, not to the GOP. I don't know why. You have to ask them. Mm-hmm. But they don't support candidates well. And the other thing I noticed is that even at the convention when it was in Sacramento, and I went to the one in San Diego, a GOP California convention, mm-hmm. that there would be very few talks on how well President Trump is doing. And then the one talk that was complimenting President Trump, our table was clapping and the whole group was just like this.
That is shocking. That is shocking. So, with all the things that he's done. I mean,
yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Right.
What about you? Like, do you like his policies? Do you not like his policies? Okay. Do you like some of his policies?
They asked me that at a very conservative Republican group meeting. Mm-hmm. And I said that I like his policies. We need to stand up to China. The reason we had the recession in 2008 wasn't the banks. We lost millions of manufacturing jobs to China. Millions.
Well, you
if
heard
you don't
what happened today, right?
I've been seeing patients. What happened today?
Well, he's negotiating the first phase of the China,
Right.
the trade deal with China.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, I think that's signed. The first part has signed, and now the second part. So we need to stand up to China. He's the only president that did that. Mm-hmm. I think it's great. Yeah. But what I told this group was, I don't like the name calling. Mm-hmm. I don't like the name calling.
I do have to say that they call him names, and he's a fighter. He's kind of like, he doesn't deal with it in a way. He kind of does it in a funny way, though, like shifty shift.
Let me give you an example.
It is kind of funny.
Let me give you an example.
And I think it's because he gets it all the time.
Right.
And, remember Orange Man? Orange Man bad. So.
Do you remember in the primary in 2016, there was a debate. Carly Fiorina was on the panel. Mm-hmm. She is amazing. She went from a secretary to CEO.
Wow.
Was it Hewlett Packard? I mean, one of the major companies. He goes, "How could you vote for that face? She's not knocked down gorgeous."
Yeah.
You don't say that to somebody.
Yeah, it's mean. It's mean-spirited.
They weren't going after him.
Yes.
He went after them.
Oh, okay.
And how about Marco Rubio? Little Marco.
Yeah, okay.
He's short.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So
it is a little immature, yes.
So here's the deal. So the far right conservative Republicans say, well, we like it. It's edgy. That's why he won. No, he won despite that.
Yeah.
His policies can stand on their own.
On their own.
He's a great leader.
Yeah.
But you don't go after people's physical attributes.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
I love what he's doing. 100%.
It does make when he talked about that gal's face bleeding was cringeworthy.
Yes,
it was a little cringeworthy.
You don't do that.
But there's times where it's like shifty shift because he is so shifty,
right?
And it's like you're just going, man, this guy just.
I agree.
lies.
In fact, I think he should say he is a bold-faced liar.
Yes,
that is perfectly true and right.
True.
It's
yes,
true.
It is.
But to say somebody, how can you vote for that face or little Marco?
Pencil neck. Yeah,
you can't. Yeah, and there's a lot of them he's done.
Yes.
And it's just not. It's just.
I think it's very New York. Like when people are in New York, they grew up with that, and
it doesn't make it right.
True.
I'm from California. I still surf, and I don't like that. So do I?
I also feel like he's trying to break down the PC culture because PC culture has been very bad for our society.
I agree.
In some ways.
I agree.
And when he does this, it's kind of like, what? Everyone should just speak their mind,
sure.
Whatever's off the cuff. It's kind of getting rid of that because, like I said, I feel like it's so detrimental.
Well, people say that we're losing our free speech.
Yes, we are.
But here's the deal.
Look at New York.
So I told this story. I told this story. My mom was a beautiful blonde Italian, really beautiful. And her younger sister had Down syndrome. Now, if you see Down syndrome kids, they don't look quite right, they don't move quite right, they don't speak quite right. And they're in line to go to a movie. And the kids are making fun. Kids in line are making fun of my mother's sister, younger sister.
Yeah, that's horrible.
In line, they can't go out, they can't move away from it.
Yeah.
And they're jeering and pointing and making horrible remarks.
Well, there's something wrong with the parenting of
No, but here's the deal. My mom goes, my little, the little sister goes, they're making fun of me. She goes, no, sweetie, they're making fun of me, trying to take the pain away. That's free speech. Okay, Unbridled free speech is not good. We have certain rights and freedoms, but we can't abuse them.
Well, we don't threaten people.
It wasn't threatening. Okay. It was making fun of.
Yes. Yeah.
So my point to the strong, real right conservatives is that I'm all for free speech.
Yes.
I'm all for freedom, but there has to be limits because what I do will affect someone else.
Of course. But like I always say, bring that back to the parents. The parents
absolutely. But
are
Donald Trump
not doing right by them by allowing their
children
to make fun of anybody for their looks.
That's obvious. But what is my point? Donald Trump is president of the United States. Mm-hmm. He shouldn't be one of those bullies.
Yeah. I see your point, and
if he did that better, he would be the best president, whoever was.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And there's no need for it. Finally,
I don't believe two wrongs make a right. You're right. Two wrongs don't
make a right.
Yeah.
And finally, he went after McCain, John McCain. Now, President Trump was never in the service. And he says, how can you be a war hero if you got shot down?
Or caught, yeah.
Oh, come on. That is the most ridiculous. My son was in the Marine Corps. One Marine will never, ever say something disparaging against another Marine, even if during maybe a dangerous time he wasn't that brave. You don't call him out for that. You don't know what you're going to do in that situation. You may do it, maybe be brave one time and not another. Anyway, he got shot down. And he didn't need to get into that fight. Why? So now you alienate all the McCain people?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying. He's amazing policies. But as president and being a role model, you have to be more careful.
Got it.
I have to be careful as a physician when I go into a room. And I got kids in there.
I do think some of that plays to the normal Joe Schmo. And, the normal people that just want to say what they want to say. You know what I mean? Like, at least we know with Donald Trump what he's thinking. Like,
I love it. Yeah, I agree.
At least he's transparent. Like, yes,
but
we're
if
not
I
going
don't
to always agree with everything
But if
he
I don't
does.
like your blouse, I'm not going to say that's ugly.
I would rather you say it.
No,
then I know that it's ugly.
We could say it off
I love
camera.
children because they're so honest.
Yeah,
Like, they'll tell you there's a booger in your nose.
But we
know
could
what I mean?
say it off camera. That's the difference between a child and an adult. An adult will do it off camera.
Yeah.
So I love what he's doing. I love his honesty. People say he's a liar. No, he's so honest.
He's almost
too
honest.
Yes, to a fault. Yeah.
So what do you think about the homeless crisis here?
Thank you. Yeah.